Methods can be used for anything we use functions to do. For example, if we had a class representing a person's bank account called bankaccount, it might have a variable to represent the current balance, and methods to check the balance and attempt a transaction. There are 4 common types of methods, though, that tend to come up a lot in the implementation of classes. The first 2 are constructors and destructors. Oftentimes, these both have special syntax in the language to set them apart so that the computer can recognize them. A constructor contains code that will run every time a new instance of that class is created. It's kind of like a setup method. For example, if a class has a list, the list likely needs to be initialized before it can actually be used. This is done in the constructor because it guarantees it's performed before it's needed. Or, in our bank account example, we would typically assume that every newly created bank account has no balance. So in the constructor, we would initially set the balance to 0. Since constructors are methods, they can take arguments for parameters as well. In other words, when someone is first creating an instance of a person class, they could supply the first name and the last name as arguments directly to the constructor. The constructor then would initialize the instance with those initial values. So, a constructor is a method that is automatically run whenever you create a new instance of a class. Any code you want to run before the instance can be used should be placed inside the constructor. A destructor, on the other hand, is a method that deletes the instance. This is most pertinent in languages where the programmer is asked to do a lot of manual memory management, and for the most part, those principles are outside the scope of our material here. Generally, though, destructors can be useful if you're dealing with massive quantities of data and find yourself running out of computer memory. You can free up some computer memory by destroying instances when you're done with them.